Hi everybody, Steve Birkin of Hybropsyche here, and yes, welcome to this, and my new friends, thank you for that. Okay, I'm going to talk about, again, another interim video while I'm trying to get my video capture thing sussed out better, but so what I thought I'd do this time as an interim thing was do what I thought were the top 10 first and second series of next gen episodes, because yeah, there was a lot of pup in all that, but to be fair, you know, there were some quite good gems that came out of it, and there were a couple of classics as well. So yeah, we got from quite good gems to classics, methinks, there. So yeah, so as we know, Star Trek Next Generation ran for, must be 7 years. We know the cast that survived and went through till the end, etc. And but we're going to include some of the characters that didn't quite survive from the first season, etc., or even the second when it comes to that. So, actually, I've not got a picture of that said person thinking about it, but that'd be right. Okay, so let's go ahead now. Number 10, Arsenal of Freedom. Yeah, interesting episode this, especially for the people who are stranded on the planet. I mean, yeah, some of it's a bit corny and things like that, but the actual alien robot drones or militaristic drones that appear, it's quite a good idea, and you don't know what's going to happen, because basically it takes one full phaser to kill the first one that appears, then it takes 2 full phasers to kill the second, and then 3 to kill the third, and there's only 3 armed people on the planet. So yeah, from that point of view, yeah, that's a really good idea. And yeah, actually the aliens do look a wee bit like, they do look a wee bit like aliens, these drones. And also, of course, yes, the Forge getting his first command, not always being respected by the people who should be respecting him, so he has to deal with that as well as dealing with a disaster. And obviously I think we get the first person who assumes the bridge of the Enterprise when Picard's not around, saying make it so. So obviously Ryka did that, I think Data did it, Troy didn't actually, in the disaster episode, but yeah, you know, it's not a bad episode at all, really. Number 9, Contagion. Well, there we go. That's pretty good effects what you see there for its time. You've got the saucer of the Yamato flying towards the bridge in its explosion, and the gateways, the good old gateways from the original series, actually appearing here. So yeah, I can't say much about it. I just think it was a good idea, and it was a good adventure on the planet, and the idea of everything starting to go wrong in the matter, from minor things to actually quite major things. So yeah, not a bad one. Number 8. Encounter at Farpoint. Obviously, as I've said on, I think I said it on my Voyager one, that usually the pilots to any new iteration of Star Trek were naff, especially the 4 or 5 ones that I like to watch. I would say the pilot to the original Star Trek was brilliant. But Encounter at Farpoint, I suppose what we've got here, we've got this situation where it's opening the door to a new era of Star Trek for the first time. So, to be fair, it's such a blank check, without trying to lose too many values of the old, etc. So this, yeah, it is good. I do like to watch it. It's incredibly cheesy in parts, but especially the flying jellyfish scene at the end, and Troy's very annoying accent on that, which she does lose, to be fair. But what you've got a lot of sort of rough actors not sort of getting it quite right yet, and then you've got Picard and Q. So that byplay between 2 top-notch actors is brilliant. So yeah, that's what I like about this one. That's why this is in here. Number 7, 1 1 ought 1 1, which is 201, I think. You've had about 20 odd years to work that out. Yeah, another interesting idea. Not so much about Ryka sort of dancing with holographic beauty, but she's not my type, actually, I must admit. But just the idea of a computer-dependent race, and just the concept of it. And I think even just the great bit about the Enterprise being docked at a starbase. You think the Enterprise is a massive ship, and then next thing you see it docked at a starbase. So yeah, from that point of view, I think it really works well. Not really much I can say too much about the episode, but I just think the concept is really, really good. Well, number 6, Where Silence Has Lease, another one from season 2. The other one was Contagion, of course, which I didn't clarify very well at the time. This one just gets it for atmosphere. There's a hole in space. They fly into the hole in space, and then there's nothing, just absolutely nothing. And I suppose the laughable aspects are Wesley Crusher is always at his station when it comes to getting things right, and then all of a sudden they've got this other guy who gets things wrong, another ensign. You never see him before, never see him again, because Nagilum kills him off, and he's the one that always gets it wrong. He's the one that's impatient, questioning any kind of wisdom. So that's obviously the ensign fetus getting it right and saving the ship every week situation that you had at that point with Wesley Crusher. But yeah, the atmosphere of when Ryka and Worf are on the sister ship and everything's all darkened and subdued and everything. Yeah, the atmosphere on that is fantastic. Then you get to see Nagilum, and it suddenly becomes one of these Godhead episodes, which is very Roddenberry-esque, if I dare say so. But yeah, no, I do like it. Definitely gets it for atmosphere. Number 5, Conspiracy. The last episode of season 1. And yeah, what can you say about this? It was a great way of ending that season, because it had all been, pretty much that it was all humans are always right, everybody else is wrong, and humans always win, and that type of thing. And so this was like a darker episode where basically paradise itself is being undermined by these aliens that were kind of a similar thing to the pizzas jumping on Spock's back from the original series. But definitely a really good idea, and definitely for its time, having that sort of exploding head on there. Tense, nervous, headache. Something dark to end season 1, which didn't. I could almost see that being a 2-parter if it could have been. But anyway, number 4, A Matter of Honor. Ryka getting to serve aboard a Klingon ship. This is a brilliant episode, again in season 2, this one. It's just really well done. There's nobody else but Ryka on the Enterprise crew who could have taken on that role, apart from Worf, of course. But it was sort of the idea that that's when you sort of learn that Ryka's a bit of a hybrid between Picard and Kirk, because that's the sort of thing where you see, although Ryka is as non-prejudicial as everybody else on the Enterprise, is also tough enough to be able to take on a role of manning a Klingon vessel and acting in the best interests of both the Federation, not betraying the Federation and not betraying the Klingon Empire at the same time. So and just even the amusing bit when he's in the mess hall and he's having to eat live gach and stuff like that. So yeah, really good. Number 3, The Neutral Zone. Again, this is one towards the end of season 1, but 2 really good ideas, because you got the idea of the neutral zone and going to the Romulans, etc., and probably meeting the Romulans for the first time, I think it was, that we actually saw them. I can't remember, all those Breville-headed people. And but the other story, and it's almost a subplot, but not quite, when the Data and Worf board a very old cryogenic ship that's been controlled by a floppy disk drive, but just going through their lives, the lives of the people that they rescue. One of them is a woman who wants to know all about her family. The other one's just like a very sort of drunk country boy type of thing, and he's just so happy-go-lucky. The other one is a complete capitalist who's basically he's lost all his money because money doesn't exist anymore, and that sort of feeds into the situation with the Romulans, etc. So yeah, no, that's a really good one. Okay, number 2. Q-hoo, Q-hoo, coochie, coochie, Q-hoo. Look, yeah, a Borgified babby. Q-hoo, it was really difficult between this one and what I've picked for number 1, which should go as number 1, basically. But Q-hoo, I mean, yeah, it's been done to death type of thing. I've played it to death myself. A brilliant new idea of something that says, Starfleet, you're too nice, stop being so bumming nice and accepting of things. There are people out there who are going to proper kick your butt until it's blue. So Q, being Q, sends them into the path of a Borg ship. The first time we see a Borg ship, arguably. I don't think they should have ever done that on the Enterprise show. But so the Borg, the assimilation, the whole thing, a very dark situation, a dark chapter, something to look forward to, the Borg Threat. So yeah, atmosphere, this one definitely gets it, and again the fantastic byplay between Picard and Q. So number 1, The Measure of a Man. Yes, this one just gets it for Picard's performance, basically, or Patrick Stewart's performance, whichever way you want to do this. Yeah, see, you've got an Admiral on there again. Yeah, so I'll tell you, Admirals are gits. So he's got Bruce Maddox turning up, wanted to take Data to pieces. So yeah, Admiral's not directly involved in it, but he's authorised it, hasn't he? So bloody Admirals are here. But this takes place where Data has to stand for his own rights. Picard is his defender, and Ryka has to be the prosecution and has to act without prejudice or without bias, should I say. So yeah, this is a fantastic episode. Again, I just love it. I love Picard's closing address on the whole thing and sorts it all out. And yeah, and just a line that everybody's probably thinking when they say whether is Data alive or not, when Mrs. Captain Buy Me Dinner says, does Data have a soul? And that's a very good point, Do clones have souls? That's, for us agnostic people out there, what do we say to that? But anyway, so there we go. That's my top 10 Season 1 and Season 2 TNG episodes. Hope you've enjoyed it. Please subscribe. Please follow me on Twitty Poos, Steve Birkin of Hybropsyche. And thank you to all those people who are following me already. And so, yeah, live long and don't let your heads fall off.